If you're looking for a body groomer that not only trims but shaves also, then the Braun Series 7 body groomer is worth taking a look at and is one to consider. I have already covered the Philips body groomers that trim and shave, plus the Manscaped Ultra 5, and I keep mentioning trim and shaves because most body groomers just trim, where this one plus the ones mentioned, the Philips and the Manscaped, shave as well. In this video I'm going to cover the pros and cons of the features and design of how I view them based on my experience. I will also do a demo to trim and shave, and that'll just cover my chest, my underarms and the abdomen area. I've also used this for shaving down below the crown jewels and the pubic area and all that. For obvious reasons I can't do a video on that, but I will share my experiences and we'll wrap it up with a bit of feedback. The model I'm using for this review is the BG7555. There are other models that begin with BG75 and the only differences will be with what accessories they come with, but this one is the BG7555, which is the one that comes with most of the accessories. And this model comes with a trimmer head. This is a trimmer head here, and it also comes with the shaver head. And for the trimmer head we also get 3 combs. We get a 2mm, 3mm and a 5mm comb. Then we also get a body comb attachment as well. That's for any body trimming. It doesn't give a particular size, it's just very short. And these combs fit easily enough onto the trimmer head. We just slide it on there like that, and it's very easy to attach and very easy to remove. Also these the trimmer head and the shaver head, to replace them, to remove and replace them, it's very easy, just slides in and out. I really like that feature. It's easier than most others. There's no kind of tightness or you know, difficulty or a possibility of snapping them or anything. And then for the shaver head we also get this other attachment, which is this kind of comb here. If I pop the shaver head on and pop it on the right way, that would be useful. Then this fits onto the top of there, and what it does, it protects us from these extra trimmers that we have on the side of the shaver head. Now these are bi-directional, so we can trim and shave in both directions, and it will cut the hair. But this sits on top of there, pops on top of there, and it protects us. And this is quite unique. I've not seen this on any of the other body groomers that I've used in the past. And you'll see in the, when I explain how the trimming session went in the more intimate areas, how useful and protective that is. With this bundle I also got this shower handle or cord, but that just pops into where we charge the battery, and we can hang that up somewhere. So yeah, nice little touch, I guess. And then we get this kind of small toiletries bag, which this is quite nice, fabric bag, but it's got some waterproofing inside that we can pop the trimmer inside, the groomer inside, and all that bits and bobs, zip it up, and yeah, that's useful. And also a little cleaning brush. The whole of the groomer is pretty light. I think it's about 230 something grams or something like that, and it's quite plastically. I mean, I kind of like products that have some weight to them and they kind of feel heavy. It gives me the feeling that I've bought something that's heavy duty and going to last. I mean, whether that's you know, I'm thinking right about that, I don't know. But however, some people do prefer lighter weight products. On the body of the trimmer, this area here curves up, so if I put my forefinger on that top section there, it kind of fits in there nicely. There's also some rubber grip on the back of the trimmer there where the forefinger will sit, and underneath there where the other fingers will sit whilst we're using it, underneath there is also a rubberized section. So you know, it feels pretty solid in the hand. This top section, the width of it is quite small, which is very useful, as I've found with other body groomers, for shaving more trickier areas, be it under the underarms and around the groin area and that. Now, if you've never used a body groomer like this before or seen one, then the shaver head on this is larger than what you'll get on a normal facial shaver, for obvious reasons, covering a larger area. And then we also get a trimmer blade on each side of them, which you won't get on a normal facial shaver. And this is to try and pick up on hairs, longer hairs when we're shaving. We have to use the trimmer first, the trimmer head first, to trim down to as short as possible before using the shaver, because these cutters here, these trimmer blades here, they will pull hairs, as I've experienced in the past. Now, one of the things about the shaver head on this is that on the Philips and the Manscaped, you'll see on the Manscaped that this moves back and forth. You know, there's kind of some flex in it, where this is just stationary, it doesn't move at all. So that's like a little bit of a negative for the Braun. The cassette on the shaver head can be taken out. Now you'll notice that I just pulled it out very easily, but it comes out too easily at times. This has came out by accident. Now I wanted to find out how long this would last. When do we need to replace it? What's the part number? And when I checked in the documentation, I couldn't find nothing about the longevity, the lifespan of this this shaver head or cassette. And then I looked online on the Braun website in the specs, and I couldn't find anything. So I've contacted and left an email with Braun for them to get back to me about that. But the documentation should provide us with something, and a spare part should be available. For the Philips Body Groomers and the Manscaped Ultra, this shaver cassette, they advised that it would last for up to around about 12 months. So I'd look at that as that's probably the same sort of lifespan that we're going to get from this Braun. A feature I like is this guide light, that when we switch it on, you'll see a light at the top there. You can see how loud that is now. It's a very loud device, but there's a light there on the top of there, so that helps for us to be able to see what we're doing when we're trimming, especially useful for the more intimate areas. The only negative about that, it's not a negative, I'd just like to see that we like to have a light on this side as well, because if we're going shaving back and forth, I'd like to see what's happening on this side. We get around about 100 minutes of run time with this, and I haven't timed it perfectly, but I know I got a good few trims and shaves out of it before I needed to recharge. So that's a good amount of time, and it's kind of needed with body groomers, because if you haven't used them before, it takes a lot longer to trim, especially larger areas like the chest. Even the groin area takes some time. It takes quite a bit of time to get the job done, so having 100 minutes is useful. There's also a 5-minute charge we can get if we run the battery flat, and we need to kind of finish off the job, or 75% through trimming, then we can give it a 5-minute boost and try and finish the job off. Its indicator lights are quite simple. It has like 3 segments on the top of there that will reduce as the trimmer is losing its battery power, and then once it gets down to the first one and gets a little bit lower, it begins to flash. That's going to warn us to give it a charge. And while they're simple, there's no percentage charge or anything there. That's practical enough and useful enough. Another useful feature to have if you travel is that if we hold the power button for a few seconds, it will activate the travel lock. About 3 seconds, and we'll see that this orange light flashes. So we cannot power it on now. So if we're traveling, it's not going to get activated. If we hold the button for a few seconds again, about 3 seconds, it will activate again. It's fully waterproof, so we can use this shaving or trimming wet or dry. I've never used it shaving wet. I never do with these body groomers and trimmers. I just use them dry. However, if you want to use it in the shower or with some shaving cream or foam, then the option is there. Because it's fully waterproof, we can also clean this wet or dry. And what my usual routine for these type of body groomers and trimmers is for a few times I would just dry clean them. I'll give them a brush out and a blowout and a tap, and that'll be it. And after every few trims or shaves, then I will give it a deep clean under running water under the tap with some antibacterial soap. And for dry cleaning, what I do is I just pop out the top attachments. Inside the top section there, the handle, if you like, I just give that a brush out, but I never do clean that out with water. I give it a brush out. And then the same with the attachments for this and the trimmer. I'll clean the inner section there. This can also be washed out. Then I'll also take off the shaver cassette and clean in that section. Give the shaver cassette a blowout. I don't use the brush on the shaver cassette on the top. We're not supposed to do that in case it damages the file at all, but I just give that a blowout. Then the trimmer, same as the shaver head attachment, give that a brush out inside, and then give the blade area, give that a brush. And when I am wet cleaning them, what I'll do is a couple of blobs of antibacterial soap on the blades of the trimmer, plus on the file cassette. Rub a little bit on there, then run water over them. But for the shaver cassette, what I would do is I'll put a little bit of antibacterial soap on, a few drops of water, then switch the shaver on and let that cleanse it. Then what I do is just give them all a rinse with clean water. give them a shake, then let them lay down on the side and dry out for a couple of hours or so. And what I also do if I after wet cleaning, or this is advisable as well if you use it trimming and shaving wet, is to put a couple of drops of oil on the shaver cassette and the trimmer blade to take care of them, and you know, this will help maintain the blade and the shaver cassette. And if I wasn't wet cleaning it, then I would still put a drop of oil on these about every third time, fourth time that I'm going to use it. Before I do the demo shave and trim, as I said, of course I cannot video this, but I'll explain to you or share with you how it went with me shaving and trimming the more intimate areas. So yeah, the pubic area, I don't generally I do not shave there, I trim. So I'd use the trimmer with the short comb on it. I tried 5mm and then I went down to the 2mm. Trimmed down really well, it's nice and small, and yeah, it works very well. In between the groin area and you know, the kind of gonads area, in between there, this works really well trimming, because this head section is nice and small, and the kind of feel of it just works really well there. Now shaving the crown jewels, or trimming there, so the trimmer worked fine with the Body Groomer on. And then the great thing is, once I used the shaver head and I popped on this extra little comb that we get, I put that on there and I shaved down that area. It was excellent, because most trimmers without a kind of comb like that, I just have to be so careful, I'm so cautious to not get any nicks, cuts or getting pulls on hair that it's just at times it's nerve-wracking. However, with this I was like, wow, you know, you can just go at it, and yeah, and it just works brilliantly. It's not going to be perfect. When I finished the trims, I did a good few trims and shaves down there. When I'd finished and go away for about 50 minutes, I noticed some slight stubble, so I had to go back and go over it again. So this trimmer, or any other one, in my experience, and shavers, are not perfect for shaving the private areas. For me, it's not going to be using a trimmer first, trimming down the hair, then getting in the shower and getting a multi-blade razor out with some shaving cream. It's not going to beat that. But for some guys out there that they want to do it electric style, and if you do want to do it electric style, so far I'd say this is the best that I've used for there. And as I said, the big advantage is the safety part of it. You know, I've just got no pulls or tugs. I haven't needed to be cautious at all. If you do purchase this, then you might at first, on the crown jewels area, you may feel if you shower afterwards, you may feel a bit of stinging, and that, I mean, that's not a negative thing really. That shows that it is shaving pretty close. But you may experience that, but you won't get that after you've used it quite a few times. And also, in my experience, when I've shaved like that, we all know, like a day later, 2 days later, there's a lot of itching that goes on. So what I did do for a period of time was I kept going back every 2 days and just shaving it again, and that really helped to keep that down. Otherwise, I mean, my view or my experience, what has been best for me, is to not fully shave down there all the time, and to just trim and leave enough hair so where there's no itch and it doesn't feel like a stubble. Anyway, all that stuff's probably for another video. So I'm going to grab myself a mirror now, and we're going to do some body grooming, some shaving and trimming with this little Braun Series 7. For demo purposes, I'm just going to trim one side of the body. There's no point in doing all of it. You just want to get an example of how it's performing. And we'll start off with the chest, and I'll pop on this 5mm trimmer. As I do for the chest area, yeah, that's trimmed it down shorter than what that side is, and it looks quite even. And let's do the same for the underarm. It's the 5mm. Well, so that was just about done. So let's use the body comb now. Put that on before we use the shaver head. And here's a body comb. You'll see that it actually stays on their body. And let's carry on with the chest. Right, chest section done. That was pretty quick actually. Same again for the underarm. Okay, so that was done. Now we're going to put the shaver head on. I just say it seems better holding it like this, you know, getting this type of handle on it, this type of grip on it, it seems to give better control and manoeuvrability. I had a few longer hairs left there from trimming, however they seem to have picked that up very well and without tugging the hairs at all, so that's very good. Okay, we'll stop there. I mean, you can see that looks kind of like shaved and razor close. Much of it is very close. It's not quite razor close all over, but when I spend a bit more time alone after this video, I'll go over this a little bit more and I'll probably get it more closer all over. I guess it's kind of slightly patchy where there's little bits of stubble. That's kind of the norm with electric shavers on my body, but most of it is very close. Now for the underarm. Something I've spotted useful again is that these trimmer blades here have been very useful. As in, when I was doing the trim with the trimmer combs, I got a few hairs left there and it's just very awkward to be able to get there with the trimmer. But with this, because it just works differently and it's got rid of them few hairs that I found difficult, so that's extremely useful. Under the underarm here can feel a bit rough. It can feel yeah, it's not that comfortable to shave with. I mean, it's doable, but not very comfortable. Well, I'd say that was done. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm going to do the abdomen area. However, I'm just going to use the shaver head with these trimmer blades because that hair there is very soft. It's not the same as the hair here, and it'll be easy to trim off. But let's just do it for demonstration purposes. That's the abdomen area done. That was very quick there. That's all the grooming done, so a bit of feedback. So the chest area, yeah, pretty good at trimming, pretty fast, and also pretty good at shaving. Yeah, not the closest shave all over. Even now when I've gone back over it, I can feel some slight stubble areas, so not perfect. The armpit area, yeah, pretty quick and efficient. For myself though, I'm still stinging a little, and I had this also with the Manscaped Ultra and other shavers, and I think I prefer not to shave there and just trim very short. However, I just did it for demonstration purposes and suffer for you guys. So it's up there with the best that I've used, the Philips models that I've used and reviewed, plus the Manscaped. However, I think this one, if you're going to be shaving in more intimate areas, then this one has one up on those for having this extra comb that is protective. Anyway, if you're not sure which is best for you, I also have a web page on the best body groomer, so any that I review, test and review, I'll update this page and I'll kind of rank them and make them particular for a certain type of task or person. But there'll be a link in the description for that web page, the best body groomers. Down in the description there'll be a link for it. You can check that out, and it's updated as and when. It still stands for me that the perfect trim and shave would be using any body trimmer or the trimmer at a certain length, and then using a multi-blade razor with shaving cream or foam. That would be that's the ultimate for me. I will be using and reviewing more body groomers and trimmers as soon as possible once the hair begins to grow back. I get enough hair growing back there. So if you want to stay up to date with the latest videos that come out, do hit the subscribe button. You'll get a notification once the video's live. Plus in the description I'll put a link to my newsletter, and once a month for shaving advice, the website plus the channel, I put an update of everything that has been used and reviewed in the month before that. So that's worth subscribing to. Thanks for watching guys, have a great day.